Welcome back to the Concussion Protocol Podcast, featuring
Tom from Kentucky Football Nation.
This is our first guest we've had on the Concussion Protocol Podcast, and we're very happy to have you here, Tom. So congratulations,
what an
you're our
honor.
first. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, man, thanks. I appreciate it. No, I'm just a Kentucky fan living across the river in Indiana, and they're all happy because they all just won the national championship. And we're trying to – I do basketball and football. I put Football Nation, but we do basketball. So, yeah, we're struggling in basketball, and everybody's celebrating around me. So all my friends, that I work with are all happy. So, hey, I'm happy. Congratulations to Indiana.
Yeah, that was a really good game, but we're not Hoosier fans here. One of us is kind of an honorary Hoosier fan, but he's not currently present. He seemed to buy into them very early, according to him, and just saw it coming.
Let me tell you, well, I'll let you in on a little inside baseball here. Okay, so I'm across the river in Evansville. So for 33 years that I've been here, I never saw any Indiana football fans. I saw Notre Dame.
Yeah.
See, what they would do is they put on the Hoosier Indiana basketball jersey, but when my football season came, they put on the Notre Dame jersey. And I was like, hey, you can't have a wife and a girlfriend. But no, now nobody's got all the Notre Dame jerseys are off. It's all everybody's on the bandwagon. So hey, I'll jump on too when they,
that absolutely tracks, because I've seen that with a lot of different fan bases too, where they flip flop a bit. So, I mean, to be fair, I'm from Arizona, but I've been an LSU fan my whole life too. So I don't judge too bad, but I also don't have flippable shirts.
Yeah, you don't have closet full of jerseys. Yeah, Kentucky. Believe me, Louisville, I would never be a Louisville fan, okay?
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Obviously. That would be absolute blasphemy to be a Louisville fan.
Yeah, that's why I tried to tell these guys, look, if your school suffers in something, you just got to suck it up and suffer. Believe me, we've been suffering in football for years, and I just suffer with us. So
yeah, no, we got a BYU fan here, an ASU fan, and LSU fan. So we've all had suffering seasons for sure.
Wow.
So I mean,
the
Brian Kelly era was not fun for me, and so was some other eras as well.
But we got your offensive coordinator. We got Sloan. So
yeah, Sloan.
So there you go.
Sloan was interesting, man, because last season he was so good, and then this season he could not buy a vowel. It was ridiculous. And I know there was Garrett Nussmeier was injured, and that really screwed with his velocity on the ball. And our offensive line was terrible. But there was a huge fall off this year. But I do think if he gets the right pieces, he will be solid for you guys. So especially with your new coach, which we'll ask about in a second here. But,
sure.
But actually, no. Let's just start with that. How do you feel about your new coach, Will Stein? Used to be an offensive coordinator for Oregon.
Well, he's probably going to run the offense because he got a guy, Burke, that he and Burke coached the offense at Texas San Antonio, which is where he started as an OC. So I think Sloan is going to be helping be the offensive coordinator. But everybody's psyched. We got 31 portal players. I mean, we really laid down some money to buy some players. Minchie, the Notre Dame quarterback, we got him. We paid for the number one left tackle from Tennessee, the number one center. We just went all in, and we're trying to do both football and basketball, and I don't know if it's going to work. But no, everybody's excited about Will Stein and football. But like Mark Stoops was a coordinator. He wasn't a head coach. So when he came here, you're like, whoa, So I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to be a realist here. Let's hold on a second. We're going to run a spread offense in the SEC. Okay, wow. All right, let's see if we can do that. But no, I kind of temper my expectations for the first year, but everybody's psyched.
So give me the difference between Mark Stoops and Will Stein, because a lot of people were excited about Mark Stoops. In fact, he had the craziest contract in football. Yeah. He was probably the hardest to fire. So that was a hard decision to make. They must really, really like Will Stein.
Well, you realize John Calipari had the same exact contract. John Calipari talked to Arkansas without our permission. That's how we got him, voided his contract. So why they put that in there? They put it in there the first year he was here when he was making like $300,000, and they kept changing the total. They never took that language out. So, but no, I love Mark Stoops. They set him up to fail. The media was ready for him to go. They didn't think 7-6 was good enough for Kentucky, even though we're playing in the SEC. And so, to be honest with you, in my opinion, they set him up to fail. They didn't give him any NIL money, and he failed, and then they fired him. He almost pulled it off with Cutter Boley. They almost pulled off the 6th win. If he would have got the last win, he would have still been the coach. Cutter Boley would still be here. And no, he's a good coach. But he's old school, run the ball and play defense. People don't want that. They want to see 42-38. And I keep saying it. Does it matter? I mean, we did the air raid in 1990, one of the first teams to bring the spread into college football. with a guy named Hal Mummy in 1996. We brought in the spread, and we would get beat 63-38. So I keep trying to tell people, would you rather get beat 16-13 or 62-42? I mean, what you're still. So we're going to get our ass kicked in a more dramatic way.
Yeah.
That's probably what will happen the first year. But no, Mark Stoops, very solid coach, winningest coach in the past Bear Bryant. I mean, but Bear Bryant didn't stay here long. But look, man, solid coach. Solid coach.
Yeah, I was really rooting for you guys when you were playing Texas. I was watching that and the overtime and the
Should have won it.
Mississippi State one too. I was really thinking you guys had it there. That game in Lexington is always a scary trap game for any team going in there. So doesn't matter what year.
We had
a scare a couple of years ago. They only won by 1 point or something like that. Crazy.
And look, he won 10 games. Nobody won 10 games there since the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Jacksonville's coach was our offensive coordinator. I can't remember Jacksonville's head coach. He was our offensive coordinator here with Will Levis, who plays for the Titans, got drafted by the Titans. But there was a couple years there where we were tearing it up. And if there would have been 12 teams, we would have actually made the playoffs 1 year, such is life. But no, he's a solid guy. If somebody needs a coach and he wants to coach, I'd take him.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think that's a great signing. I mean, the dude, any guy that is an offensive coordinator at Oregon is usually doing a pretty solid job. So I am looking forward to see how he does in the SEC at Kentucky. So I would not be looking forward to that game as Tennessee or Florida or anybody that has to go play in Lexington specifically. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. So.
Yes.
So you actually you reached out on one of our comments here, and you had some comments about Cutter Boley, who's transferred to ASU. We had in that segment. We hadn't heard too much about him. We saw a couple highlight reels where we saw some passes that were kind of iffy. At the same time, our coach at ASU, I live in Arizona and I actually went to ASU, but our coach, when we were losing Levitt to the transfer portal, he said specifically like, "Oh yeah, we got our guy. We're good." Like he was saying it so emphatically. It sounded like he got like a 5-star like Bryce Underwood or something. Like he was acting like he had this guy. And then it turned out.
See, well, one of my I'll just tell you, one of my subscribers is Cutter Boley's auntie, and she was telling me, hey, she emailed me and said, don't say this, but we knew he was going to leave, but Arizona State is where he's going to go because they're offering him a lot of money. And I was like, okay, I won't tell you. And it turned out 3 weeks later. So yeah, it was set up. Before Will Stein ever set foot here, people were trying to say Will Stein ran him off, and God, come on, guys. No, you offered him about $1 million more than we did. So he took it. Hey, look, he's not tailored for that power spread. He's not going to run. We can get into that in a little bit, and I can tell you all about him. And so whatever you want to know. But.
Gotcha.
Well, I think we do want to dive into it. I want to continue down this narrative that Chase was putting down just really quick, because this is why I'm confused. And maybe this is where you can help me and Chase and our audience.
Sure.
So, Dillingham says, we've got our guy, right? And at the time, there were rumors about Bryce Underwood, that he was going to Arizona and that they were going to sign him. They've also got a 4-star coming in, Jake Fett. So in our minds, it's got to be, hey, this has got to be a junior or a senior.
Oh, yeah.
Give Jake Fett a little bit of time, bring in this guy who's got experience, who's got it going on, proven. And then we hear Cutter. And first thing is you go to stats.
What?
I haven't watched as much Kentucky, right? So I look at his stats, like, his stats don't look good. His record isn't good, right? So why is Dillingham screaming, we got our guy?
Here's this one. I can tell you real quick. You're paying for what Cutter Boley is potential. You're not paying for what he is now, because it was the same thing 2 years ago. He started 2 games, 20 at Texas in 2024, played pretty well. And then he played in Louisville and got smacked the last game of 2024. So we brought in Zach Calzada because we said, we're going to sit him down for a year. And this is going to be a gap year for him. He was not supposed to play this year. He was not number 1 in the spring. He was not number 1 in the summer. So we come out going into the first and second game. Zach Calzada is going to be our quarterback. Cutter Boley is going to learn from him, Bush Hamden, who was at Boise State, and his system. It didn't work out that way. Zach Calzada didn't play well. And then the last Ole Miss, you get to the fourth quarter, he gets hurt. Cutter comes in. And then after that, people are just like, look, Zach Calzada is no better than Cutter Boley. So why don't we just play this kid? He's a Kentucky kid. So we had a bye after the second game. We were playing Eastern Michigan the third game. So they decided, our Stoops said, well, since these guys are so close, let's just start Cutter. And then we started him. Okay, so Eastern Michigan, easy. If you look at his numbers, guys, you can bring him up. Then he starts at Eastern Michigan, easy game, throws 12 for 20. Okay, but then he goes to South Carolina. So he goes on the road. Okay, now he's only played in two or three games. It took him a while to learn how to digest the offense, first of all. It took him a while to make the throws. It started out at the beginning of the year. First of all, let me stop right there and say we had no receivers. Yeah, we had a slot receiver and a tight end that could catch the ball. We had guys at the X receiver and the wide receiver that couldn't catch if you hit them right in their hand. There's a problem right there, okay? We had the worst receivers. We were going to run the ball and play defense. We're trying to win team. Cutter's not going to have to do much. But as the year went on, if you look at his numbers, he couldn't make sideline throws because our play-by-play guy is a play-by-play guy for Cincinnati Bengals, and he played at Kentucky. And he's saying, okay, now he's having problems with sideline throws. So I'm listening to this guy because he's smart. And then, then he picked up sideline throws. So as the year went on, if you look at his numbers, when we get to Texas, Tennessee, Auburn, Florida, well, he's completing 31 of 39, 26 of 35, 80%, 75%, 80%. So he's starting to make sideline throws. Now the deep ball, he can't. Okay, so he starts working on that. So he is stair-stepping his way and becoming a decent quarterback, despite our, awful receiving core.
That's definitely good to hear because obviously just straight from and obviously stats never paint the full picture. You can look at the stats at the end of the game. It's never going to tell you exactly what happened. But when we first heard it, obviously it was very weird because of obviously how they spelt it out. But to hear that he has definitely a higher ceiling, that's definitely good to hear because honestly, Cam Levitt did not play that great for us. I mean, he only played half the season because of his injury, but he did not play that well. I mean, I watched him, Chance and I watched him in the NAU game. He did not look good against NAU at all. Then Mississippi State looked like a joke. Baylor, he was getting it done on his feet, but his accuracy on the medium to long range was looking not good. Then in the TCU game was the first game that I saw him actually what I thought was him playing to his potential, and he played really well. And then obviously his injuries took over and he stopped playing a lot in games. He did play in the Tech game, but outside of that, I wasn't seeing too much from Levitt himself. Obviously, now I get to experience it again at LSU, similar to how Jaden Daniels was. But I am curious how that transition is going to be from Sam Levitt to Cutter Boley because you said he's not very mobile, but he can get things done with his feet. So.
He can scramble. He cannot run. He's not going to run. He's a pocket passer. That's why the power, Will Stein option spread or power spread or whatever you want to call it. You have to have a quarterback who can run, and he's not a rusher. He's gonna run when he has to, but he's not fast. Now he's 6'5", 220. He needs to I feel like he needs to buck up a little bit, but no, he's definitely not a runner. He's a pocket. If you let him work out of the pocket, he's going to be good. The last two games, guys, Vanderbilt and Louisville, throw those out. Okay. We quit in the Louisville game, that last game. Nobody wanted to be there. It was November 30th. It was cold. They jumped on us 14-0. Our guys just quit on Cutter. And then he throws 2 interceptions. And of course, some of these games, we're so far behind. Vanderbilt, 45-17. And it's 35-0. So he just lays it up there. And our receivers can't outfight anybody. A lot of those interceptions were, I say a third of those were our guys just let the defensive back get position, or he just had to force it because we're down 35-7 or whatever.
I was curious about that because I watched that Florida game and you guys dominated Florida, just embarrassed them. And then what was it, like 2 weeks later, the Louisville, and I was like, how did you go from blowing out Florida to getting embarrassed by Louisville? I did not understand.
Because here's what happened. Our portal players, a lot of them were 1-year players and they were going to get paid. And once we start losing, they just quit, especially on defense. You just saw it. I saw it on tape. I was listening to a play-by-play guy. If you watch that tape back from the Louisville game, our offensive linemen who are, every one of them were 1-year players, just quit and they let them, rush better and they didn't give them a chance. And believe me, we're all upset about it. But look, they're going to get paid. That's the bad part about NIL is they get paid no matter what. So these guys just quit on him in that Louisville game. And it was not, he threw 2 picks. I mean, look, he was just trying to do anything because it was 41-0. I mean, they were up 28-0 just like that. I mean, bam. And then our guys were like, you know what? We're just going to quit. We're going to get paid. So it was sad to see that. And that cost Mark Stoops his job.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's definitely unfortunate to see. That explains it a lot more because I was really surprised at those scores, the differential in like 2 weeks. Let me ask you this. I mean, Chance and I and Connor, our other hosts, have discussed it at length, what we think about the scheduling and the effects of NIL. Do you think that the scheduling needs to be drastically changed? Because obviously, as you saw, that was a huge effect it had, that the transfer portal opens up before the season's even over, and your team is basically opting out of playing this season. They're playing, but they're opting out emotionally and not protecting their quarterback. It leads to a coach getting fired when he probably wouldn't have. So how do you feel about the transfer portal's scheduling now and how it should be changed?
Well, first of all, bowl games are meaningless. So that doesn't mean anything because half your players are going to opt out and they're going to quit then. But no, yeah, like Will Stein, he's at Oregon trying to, if he would have won and kept on going to the national championship game, he still wouldn't have been here. So he's trying to do two things at once, run Kentucky and get our players and still be the offensive coordinator for Oregon. Yeah, you can't have that. You can't have people split. And then, of course, you got people like Lane Kiffin who just go, you know what, I'm just leaving. And so it's like, what? What do you mean you just leave it? So it's just there's no rules now. So, yeah, I don't understand NIL, guys. There's people breaking the rules if there are any rules. There's supposed to be rules, but there's people just spending whatever they want. It's the wild, wild west. How much money do you want? Same thing is coming to basketball, So no, I don't like it one bit. Come on, guys. I mean, you can't be in the playoffs and have another job and try to run two teams at once.
Yeah, no, I thought that was ridiculous. I mean, we had a similar situation, not with our head coach, but with a Charlie Weiss Jr. playing for Ole Miss, coordinating them, and then he's not over here helping Lane recruit for our team next season. So that hurts us. But obviously, I totally would have been fine with them finishing the season with them. But it is weird once it goes into that. The scheduling just really messes with everything. So I think it needs to be changed, definitely. But I don't know what they're going to do. There needs to be a lot of changes, honestly. There's a lot of hypothesized changes, what they could do. They could move the season a little bit earlier and have it end a little bit earlier. That first round bye and the gap between the first round and the second round is ridiculous. But I'm hoping that they fix some things rather than just doing what a lot of organizations do, where they're like, oh, let's just slap another couple seeds in this college football playoff. That'll fix everything. It's like, no, you're not gonna.
Chase, you're talking about a you problem, though. The NCAA is making the money, so it's not a them problem.
Well, that's the thing, is it's all about the money. I want the product to be good. If it's going to make all this money, the product needs to be good. And if you have teams opting out of good bowl games, unless it's got a Pop-Tart like mascot that's marketing their asses off and making it look so fun to watch that you have people watching it, nobody opts out of that game. But if people are opting out of the Sun Bowl, so you got to have some sort of worth in these bowl games, man. So I think that.
Well, the SEC. What about the nine SEC games? We were against it because half, 8 of your teams, half your teams are going to lose one extra game and they're not going to get in the playoffs. Then you have the SEC championship game. Then you have to play a rival. We have to play Louisville. It's like, wait a minute, we only get 2 cupcakes for this whole. That's it. 1 bye week now. There were 2 bye. Now there's 1. So it's like, man, our schedule is just. I feel sorry for Will Stein, man. I'm looking at his schedule: Alabama, at Texas A&M, at Oklahoma, Texas. How you gonna beat even if you were a great team? I mean, Mark Stoops had some teams that were really good that went 7-6 because they had to play, at Tennessee, at Florida. It's just, I don't know how it's going to work, guys. Yeah, somebody's going to make a lot of money off this.
That scheduling thing was interesting. I don't know why it affects the season to season schedule, because literally we play Ole Miss again in Oxford next week. We just played them there. I don't know why we wouldn't play them here. But then at the same time, we play Texas A&M in Death Valley, when last season we played them in Death Valley. So it's supposed to alternate, but because
who's your 3? You have 3 common opponents.
Yeah, our top
we have 3 common opponents.
They're A&M, Ole Miss, and Arkansas. So, which I was disappointed that we didn't get Bama. That's kind of like a notorious rivalry. I know that it's not Auburn for them, but still, I think that we should be playing it. So, I know they have Tennessee and Auburn, but that probably should have been. It should have been Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU. Instead, it was like Mississippi State or something.
Yeah, I mean,
third one. I don't know. It was a weird one.
But yeah, we play at South Carolina, like 3 of the next. Yeah, we had to play them this year, and then we play them again. Yeah, so it kind of, they adjusted the schedule. Yeah, the commissioner is not very bright for the SEC. What is his name again? Now I can't remember his name.
I don't even.
We don't even know who the hell he is. He's made me so mad. Yeah, he made everybody have the same schedule 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You realize that you played the same schedule 2 years in a row. Well, that's because he was punishing, because the league wouldn't go to 9 games. So he punished the league and said, okay, you're going to play the same schedule again. That's why that happened, is because of the commissioner.
Yeah, that didn't make.
Now that I hate him so much, I can't remember his name. Now that I hate him so much.
You
Come on, man.
Out. You blocked
Dude,
out
what
your
do you?
brain. You don't even want to think about it.
Oh man, it's like yeah, I know what he looks like if I see him, but I'm gonna hit him, but smack him. But no, man. I mean, there's so much. The reason we voted for, Nick Saban was against 9 SEC games. We were because he knew that. Hey, man, this league is top to bottom. There's even at the bottom, Kentucky. We still beat Auburn, Florida. I mean, we still beat some teams that we shouldn't have beat. It should have beat Texas. So yeah, but no. It's all about that everybody gets $5 million for that 9th game. So LSU will get $5 million cash or whatever, check. Here you go. That's why we did it. We didn't care about the college football playoffs. Are you kidding me? Arkansas, we get what? Yeah. So now,
poor
money's look. It's the NFL now.
Yeah, it is. It is looking like that. We definitely there needs to be some sort of cap involved because I don't know it's acting like baseball right now. There's no cap. It's just chaos. So, but yeah.
But no, don't worry. I think Cutter Boley is going to be. Look, if he keeps progressing and keeps, he was getting better. Okay, he was. He had problems on the road. He did win a road game. So he's been on the road in some. I mean, look, we played at Auburn. Yeah. I mean, where did we play? At South Carolina, at Georgia. I mean, look, I don't know what the schedule is for him, but yeah,
the schedule next season is not good for him. This is one of the worst ASU schedules I've seen. I really am not looking forward to next season for them. I'm guessing they might go 6-6 or 7-5. They play at Texas Tech. They play at BYU. They play at Texas A&M in week 2. After week 2, they go to London to play Kansas, and that always screws with them because they got to go there. They land love. And then if they at Arizona in the rivalry game, all of their really tough games are on the road. I think they could honestly go completely winless on the road. Their only road game that's easy looking is UCF. All the rest of them. And their home games look good. They might go undefeated at home. But all their road games are absolute I would not want to play that.
Do they have any running backs?
So they
just lost Raleek Brown to Texas.
So I am very curious how that's going to go. I think Texas A&M is going to embarrass them in week 2. I'm not looking forward to that. But
the other thing I was curious to ask about, Tom, is ASU's line, their offensive line, amazing at run blocking. I've watched them many times. They're great.
Familiar.
Pass blocking, they're awful.
Oh, no.
Sam Levitt was running for his life. So you're telling me that Cutter, not very good at scrambling or making plays. That concerns me a little bit.
He can move in the pocket, but he's not going to take off running like for, 3 yard, whatever. I think I saw somebody on Arizona State. I think then they had somebody.
That was Jeff Sims against Iowa State. Yeah, he's in the.
Yeah, Sims. Okay, yeah, he's not. I watched that guy. Okay, he's not that guy. Yeah, you're not gonna. He's not. You shouldn't do. You could do a quarterback draw with him, and that's fine. But don't ask him to run outside. Outside zone run or quarterback bootleg.
Kind of like Mendoza.
My worry is how much of a pocket he'll actually have because they did not give their QBs very much of a pocket this year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how about the receivers? Do you have anybody that can catch? Because
the receivers look good.
We got some guys.
They got 2 guys in the portal, one from Colorado. I think he was the second best wide receiver in the portal, or he might have been the first. And then they had like another guy ranked about 15th in the portal from where was he?
Okay, good.
They probably did the best in the portal for receivers.
For skill position.
Okay, well then there you go.
Yeah. So I am.
If you give this guy some receivers and some time to throw, you're going to get what you paid for.
That's good.
You're going to get what you paid for. But if you don't, and you ask him to run like Sims, no, dude, it's going to go bad. So then you didn't get. But yeah, if you give this dude, I don't know who the offensive coordinator. Look, you're obviously going to tailor the offense for him, like we did. And look, he's a pocket passer, man. He was a 5-star, or he's a 4-star, high 4-star, best quarterback in the state of Kentucky. Believe me, people are mad that he left, but he just, like I said, he's not going to run a power spread. He's going to play in a pocket. And if you can give him a little bit of a running game and a little time to throw, because he's played in some hard games. I mean, so yeah, he should be ready. He needs to learn how to win on the road, and he needs to keep improving because he was getting accurate. It's just those last 2 games, it just all fell apart, and it wasn't his fault. So throw those 2 games out.
He's going to have to learn real quick with that schedule. With Kentucky, who do you expect the next QB to be then?
Well, we got Minchie, a guy that's set in Notre Dame. So he's the big 5-star kid, and it was close, and he could have, People from Notre Dame are telling me he's a good kid. He could have won as many games as the starting quarterback did. So we paid some money for him, but that's our guy, Minchie. So he hasn't played. And, we bought a couple players, offensive lineman hadn't played, but they sat behind it. So we got one Tennessee guy that was the best left tackle. And then we got one guy that didn't play. So all these guys, we got a couple receivers played for UAB. Okay, man, that's UAB. That's not Southern Utah. We just signed a guy from Southern. I didn't know there was a Southern Utah. There's a Southern Utah.
SWU usually produces some
Is it
high-end
good?
guys sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, well, this dude's like 6'4", and it's like, okay, I mean, I know the league they're in is a real small league because Eastern Kentucky's in there. I had to look it up. What? UAC? What is? But no, so look, we got some guys like, can he play in the SEC? Well, we're gonna find out. And that's probably what you guys have. You're going to find out. But don't, like I said, you give Cutter some time to throw in some receivers and let him work in the pocket. He can move well enough in the pocket and scramble well enough that he can not get sacked.
Yeah. With that schedule in front of him, if he gets 8 wins, I think he's great, honestly, because that schedule is looking really tough. Even for the Big 12, that schedule looks terrifying. They might have the worst schedule in the Big 12. Quite honestly, the fact that they're all on the road. So, but if he steals one at Kyle Field, in Lubbock, or at Lavelle Edwards there, Chance, then I will absolutely give him his flowers because that he deserves it. If he wins one or maybe 2 of those, that would be crazy.
I see potential, guys. Like I said, he was going to stay here. If Stoops he would still be here right now, and he would be our starting quarterback right as soon as like I said, he's never went through camp as the starter. He went through as with the second string. So, get him in there, let him go through spring and fall with you guys and be the starter. And then, now it's a completely different thing.
That is huge too, because I am wondering how DJ Lagway is going to do at Baylor, because he didn't get to do spring camp at Florida, and it showed. Obviously, in week 3 against LSU, he throws 5 interceptions. Like, that was terrible. And I thought DJ Lagway was going to look special this year. So that spring camp definitely, that was not a good take. I thought he was going to look great. I thought Lenoris was going to look great. I thought Garrett Nussmeier was going to look great. Sawyer Robinson, Cade Klubnik, all those guys did not pan.
Hugh Freeze.
Yeah. So
Auburn, everybody thought they were no.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, with Jackson Arnold. The second they said they had Jackson Arnold, I was like, that dude can't throw past 20 yards. What are you thinking he's going to do?
That's what I said. Yeah. He can run, but he can't throw. Yeah.
His career long was 35 yards through 3 seasons. What did we expect?
That's like the Colts taking the Florida quarterback, what was his name? Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you guys? He sucked at Florida. He can't throw over 15 yards. We're going to teach him. You're going to teach him in NFL. We saw how that went. First quarterback ever seen that left because he was tired. Left, yeah. I got to get out of the game. Why'd you leave the game? Because I was tired. What? I can't see Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana. I'm tired, guys. I got to go. I mean, so come on. If they're no good in college, probably not going to be good in the NFL. I'm just saying.
They could be, but you have to have a team that has a history of developing quarterbacks. And I don't think the Colts have that. So,
no.
So, yeah.
Well, hey Tom, I was curious. We talked a little bit before the show, but I'm curious on your thoughts on Kentucky basketball. If you want to speak on that.
Sure, we'll speak on it. Mark Pope, once things started going south, he looked like he was in over his head. He really panicked. You could see he was not ready for us to lose. We spent 20, supposedly, but really, we did really spend, if you count it up, $22 million on players. The biggest roster. We beat Purdue in a preseason game, and yay, we're going to win. And then no, Georgetown, they figured out real quick, we can't stop people going to the basket. And Mark Pope, just started struggling. And the worse he struggled, it's like if you're drowning and you start, and I'm trying to save you, and you start moving and start grabbing a hold of me. Well, he just kicked harder. And so finally, I think we might have righted the ship, but it's been a bumpy ride with him and his analytics. We're going to play people 15 minutes, and then we're going to put these people in because 15 minutes is the optimal. Look, man, if we're winning, why don't you just play the 5 best players? I think he figured that out the hard way the last 2 weeks. And, of course, you guys saw LSU. We shouldn't have won that game. Tennessee, the last 2 games. I mean, really, the guy should be packing his desk up. But we won, and we played them all right, Texas. If we fall behind, we're really good. If we're down by 15 at the half, we probably going to win. I don't know. But
what was your sentiment after last season? Because I think most Kentucky fans were pretty happy with Mark Pope after last season.
Absolutely, because what he did, here's what huge mistake. Okay, so he overthought this. We had a really good offensive team, but we didn't have a good defensive team. So then he went all in on defense and got Aberdeen and all these players that are good defensive players, and now we can't score. So we just flipped the problem. So he overcorrected, even by his own admission, to go get players that haven't been able to shoot. So we lost our point guard early in the year. He's gone. So there now we got a guy that's a backup point guard for Florida, but he was from Florida on the national championship team. So we got a backup point guard playing point guard, and we have a big guy who's injured, Jaden Quains for Arizona State. Jaden Quains, okay, was supposed to come back. He played a couple games. His knee is sore. I don't know if his knee's sore or he's looking at his NBA career. That's what everybody's asking right now. But so look, guys, we're just trying to figure out who can we put on the floor, and for God's sake, stop taking people out. And I can't tell you what's going to happen.
So I've followed Mark Pope's career quite a bit. He actually lived near. He was one of my neighbors, my parents' neighbors, for a while.
Nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy, great guy.
Too nice.
He assistant at BYU, then he goes to UVU, starts coaching there, then goes to BYU, then ends up at Kentucky, right? I wonder if part of his problems, you say he's not ready for the moment. I probably agree with you. And he's had to really figure it out on his toes with less talent for a long time. I know BYU is great now, but it was right after he left.
You're on to something.
Investing money. And so he's had to play with so many different lineups and figure it out by playing all these different guys a bunch. When you're at Kentucky, you have 5 good guys. Get them on the court, play your best players, right? So I'm wondering if he's just adjusting to all of those things where, UVU, he's throwing out whatever guy can just somehow make it and figure it out, And Kentucky got these 5-star guys, just they're good. Play them,
He tries to play combinations of people that don't work, like 3 non-shooters and 2 shooters. It's like, dude, you don't think Florida and Tennessee can figure out that you only got 2 offensive guys on the team that are out there right now? How about we put some guys out there who can score? I mean, he tried these elaborate combination of guys. It's like, man, it's Tennessee the second half. When those 5 guys he put out there then he just left them on the floor, and we came back because you left them on the floor and they were playing hard. And look, we got in a fight. Did you see the fight after the Tennessee game and the
I did.
handshake line? Okay, we were all Kentucky fans. I'm in a sports bar with my friends. We're just glad they fought somebody besides one another. So they're arguing with one another. It's like, fight somebody else. Yeah, Dad, we were so happy. Look, we were so happy about that fight because these guys they look like a bad episode of Walking Dead, some of these games. It's like, dude, are you guys awake? I mean, dude, they're just sitting on a bench, plays clapping. It's like, man, what are these guys just taking the money? Us as fans, people start asking, these guys just taking the money and then go do whatever they want? So yeah, no, they're fighting with one another, fighting with Mark Pope, and you see people yelling at Mark Pope on the sideline, man. I was like, what? If that was Rick Pitino or if that was John Calipari, you wouldn't even be on the bench. You'd be back in the locker room.
Yeah.
So I think he's too nice. He's trying to be your friend and your coach.
Well, and here's the thing. He'll do that as a coach to the players, but he also has a temper tantrum at times when it comes to the media, when it comes to the refs and such. He won't do it to the players, but I've seen him after a game just rip into the refs, just sarcastically, best refs in the world. I mean, have you seen them? We need to give them, just being super sarcastic. So he definitely has both sides of that, but to his teammates and players, probably a little bit too nice and probably too submissive, like you're saying. He needs to be that, the guy in charge.
He had a meltdown on the radio, if you guys did not hear this story. Okay,
I haven't, but it doesn't surprise me.
Okay, now we lost to, I think it was Missouri, one of those games about a week or so ago. And you do the radio show afterwards in the locker room. It was on the road, so maybe it wasn't Missouri. It was. I forgot which game it was. We lost.
I think it was Missouri because that was your bad loss, and I think I heard something about it. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one where our play-by-play guy's been the play-by-play guy since 1992. I mean, he's asked some questions, So, what'd you guys talk about after the game? And he just said a lot of things. He was talking like this, a lot of things. Okay, next question. What's some things you need to improve on? There's a long list of things. So he starts talking real soft. And then the last question, he asked him about the next game. He can't answer it. like the next game, he can't answer the question. And so the radio announcer says, let me rephrase the question. He was trying to help him. And the guy could not answer the question, and it went off the air. Then the call-in show came on for the radio station, one of the called Kentucky Sports Radio. If you guys want to follow Kentucky Sports Radio, it's not affiliated with the university. But dude, immediately everybody like me was like, okay, what the hell was that? What was that? I mean, the guy, it was something like, what is wrong with this guy? So yeah, I don't know what happened there, but that didn't happen the next week. I think they told him, hey man, you can't go out there to your radio announcer in front of everybody. And he kind of got a little, like you said, a little sarcastic with him. And they were like, hey man, don't do that. So, but yeah, so look, like I said, we're all as fans are going, oh, this is not Rick Pitino. This ain't John Cutter. Who is this guy?
Yeah. I really hope it works out because
Yes.
I actually think he can be a really good coach. And I think you guys have seen parts and snippets of it, but he's got to figure his act out for sure.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, no, I agree with everything you just said because we're not going to have a long leash with him. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean,
next year.
and here's the thing: you might have more time. You got all the time in the world, maybe at UVU, right? BYU, you might have some time. Kentucky, you don't have that time. You're on a very short leash for sure.
Let me say one more thing about basketball, if I may. Oh, okay, $22 million. If we don't make it to the Sweet 16, it's going to get ugly. I mean, at least the Sweet 16. Right now, I don't even know if we can. How many more games? I don't know if we can beat Texas tomorrow night. But if we don't make it past the Sweet 16 or two, it's not going to go well. That's my thought.
Yeah. Can I ask you about a player too? Colin Chandler.
Sure.
What happened to him?
Colin Chandler, you know what? He plays hard. Now, look, he's the teacher's pet. Everybody's picking up on that Mark Pope likes him, and he's playing him way too much, okay? The guy, listen, man, I love the guy. He got torched so bad at Tennessee. I'm glad he made that. And now he's won the game for us with a pass at LSU, which he just chucked it. It didn't go to the right guy, but he got that steal at the end of the game at Tennessee, right? He stole the ball, and we pulled ahead with 3 minutes left. So he plays hard, but man, he's a streaky shooter, and his guy just torches him. I mean, he leaves this guy. So our defense is like, dude, can you just, can you just stay in front of him? Can you stay with him? So yeah, I think people like him because he's a nice guy. He's married, right? He's a nice guy. We like him. But man, dude, I mean, look, I think he's finally earning his minutes. Whereas before, we all said, well, wait a minute. We got a 5-star point guard from Kentucky, Mr. Basketball, on the bench, and you're not going to play him, but you're going to play this guy. That's what the problem was.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I think he's shown potential, but like streaks of potential don't win you basketball games, right? You got to put it together consistently. And it seems like this year, he's just not found that consistency yet. So, yeah.
Please let him. Now, look, we are leading the SEC after 5 games in 3-point shooting percentage, which we can't take over like 20, for God's sake. Yeah. Okay. So this is one mistake real quick. Beginning of the year, Mark Pope wants us to play like BYU and take 33s. It's like, no, dude, we don't have any. We have a lot of shooters, but we don't have a lot of makers. So let's take 15 or 20 like we are now, and we're fine. But hey, we got one guy from Alabama named Mo Diabate. And if you go back, you'd have to watch the last 2 games. He has bricked a 3-pointer off the right side of the backboard. And I keep getting I make videos for my channel. I'm like, man, when that dude shoots a 3, he's going to hurt somebody. I mean, he's going to he could break somebody's arm. I mean, how can you not hit the rim? The thing comes off, man, that dude should never shoot a 3. For God's sake, dude, stop doing that before you hurt one of our own players. I mean, man, that thing, are you just launching it? It just hits the backboard. It comes off twice in a row. I'm just laughing, dude. Stop doing that, man.
That sounds like
I don't know,
George
guys.
right there. I've seen that a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, dude. I mean, like, are you shooting in the center? I mean, he keeps hitting the right side. I mean, man, like I said, he's going to injure one of our players. So
let's hope he doesn't. Chase, you got anything else to ask?
Nope.
Mr. Kentucky?
I think we have thoroughly gotten some good insights from you. So we appreciate you coming on the show and giving us some good insights on Cutter. It definitely gives me some more hope for ASU next season because honestly, as an alum, I was sitting there thinking they might not even be bowl eligible next season. But now I feel like they could get an 8th win, maybe like a 7 to 9 win is probably the window I would go with for them. So I am a lot more hopeful now that you've given me that insight. So I appreciate that. I wish Connor could have.
No, guys, thanks.
But he's a little bit more manic, so he might believe in them anyway. so he might not need it. So, but we'll see.
I got a good feeling. Before I get off here, guys, I got a good feeling about him. Okay, I really do. He was progressing. Like I said, don't count the last 2 games because our team just decided we're not going to play anymore. But no, he progressed during the year, and you could see that. Okay, now he can make this throw. Okay, now he can do this. We just kept adding stuff. So, like I said, please get him some receivers that can catch it and run it back, and don't ask him to do what Sims did and think you're going to be good. And anytime you want me back on, like I said, if we don't make the Sweet 16, just watch my channel. You might want to have me back on because I'm going to have to stop people from getting.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be soon. What's the suicide hotline number again? We're going to have to. I mean,
but
people take it deadly serious. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. They play next year. So, no, look, guys. Thanks for having me on anytime. And look, man, we're all gonna be rooting. Look, everybody in Kentucky is gonna be watching Arizona State. So I'm gonna put this up. Well, if you put this up on your podcast, I'll link it to my channel. And I'm up to I don't know 1,300, and I'm almost a year old. So
awesome. We appreciate that greatly. So we'll definitely.
Hey man, we're all gonna be Arizona State fans.
Awesome. I'm sorry if you get a little emotional attached because I've been an Arizona sports fan my whole life, and it is very painful. We have seen some
Kentucky football
fan, so
everything: football, baseball, basketball, college, like pro. It's been off hockey. We lost our hockey team. It's been
we lost our hockey team.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a AA hockey team in the city that I'm in, Evansville, Indiana, and we lost AA hockey. We were affiliated with St. Louis Blues. I was like, man, this is real hockey. And then they're like, at 5 years, where are we going?
Yeah, Utah over here stole our hockey team.
Well, there you go, man. I love people. Let me tell you what, people love hockey. We went from a basketball town. There are 2 universities here. No, the main stadium here, the hockey team was drawing like 5,000 to 7,000 for AA hockey. And a dude from St. Louis came here and said, how on earth you're in last place? How are you drawing? But you know what? We couldn't keep it going. Financial, with COVID and everything. So anyway, we got a hockey team now. I think we 3. I think, man, I can play as good as that guy. It's an independent league hockey. It's like, how old are these guys? But anyway, hey, thanks guys for having me on. I appreciate it. And anytime, look, man, hey, best of luck to Arizona State and go Cutter Boley.
Appreciate that, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. To our viewers here, you heard it here first, man. Have some hope, ASU fans. Have some hope in this team. Have some trust in Dillingham. He seemed to have seen some things that we're missing. Tom from Kentucky Football Nation, who just left, gave us some great insights here. So that definitely left me more hopeful. I hope you guys feel the same way. Thanks once again for following us all season or whenever you joined us. We appreciate your support, your comments, whether they're mean or nice. We appreciate them. The likes, the subscribes, the shares, all of it, man. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for following the Concussion Protocol Podcast in Season 1. We're getting into Season 2 soon, guys. The season's over, so we'll talk about that in the next episode here. But thank you once again. This is the Concussion Protocol Podcast. I'm Chase. This is Chance. Bye. Signing off.